Oh my goodness, gosh gracious. It is Sunday. That means it's time for the All F and Wrestling Show. JFB, please tell me, what are we talking about today?
Well, we got a joke, we got news, and then the best part is we have hot take or bad take. We got a whole entire list from the effing universe who chimed in with their hot takes. It will determine.
Oh yeah, we're gonna judge the hell out of you.
You will be shamed for bad takes. You will be shamed. All right, all this and more on the All F and Wrestling Show. Hit it!
Coming to you live from the FN Worldwide Media Studios, located in parts unknown.
It's the All F and Wrestling Show.
With your hosts, Canada Dry, and the JFB.
Tell me how it's priced. Tell me if the item is for sale. And tell me.
Good morning, good afternoon. If I don't see you till later, keep my supper warm. I'm on the late train, the Georgia. It's, of course, the king of prediction wrestling. I am the JFB, James from Boston.
Oh, you're getting pretty good at that heart thing. That's more like a pumpkin. I don't know. I am the patron saint of professional wrestling. I'm that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. My name is Canada Dry, baby. Woo! Yo, Sammy Sam.
Dance, varmint, dance.
We are joined by the Yosemite Sam, if you will, of the All F and Wrestling Show. He's got the smoothest voice in all of podcast wrestling history. It is, of course, Mr. Isaacs.
Well, I can tell you guys, I'm going to join JFB on that train to Georgia because it's 17 degrees here in Kentucky, and it is excruciatingly cold. But I am the effing expert, the cold effing expert, Mr. Isaacs.
Hell yeah, it is freezing. It's 26 degrees here in Nashville. We're supposed to get like 4 inches of snow. It's going to be interesting.
So your takes might start off as hot, but by the end of the show, they're cold as fuck.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be like, it's so cold. I need some more hot takes.
I need some hot takes for warmth. Guys.
Yes.
Let me down.
We will throw your hot takes in the fire and burn them. Your bad takes might just make a little toxic smell in the air, but we'll do what we got to do.
Yes.
Of course, we got our friends. He's judging me daily.
Yeah, he does.
Noob here. And we have a little bit of breaking news. Time traveling wrestler wins match yesterday, celebrates tomorrow.
Oh God, this is why we love Alex Haney. He is just it is hilarious. Of course, Noob says from where I'm from, it's -9 and -6 degrees outside. Where do you live, Noob? You in Green Bay, Wisconsin, or are you in Buffalo? Because man, it's cold both places.
He lives in Noob City. Noob City, Wisconsin.
I don't know why, but the first state that popped in my mind when you said Noob City was Iowa. I don't know. I have no clue why, but Noob City, Iowa sounds like a legit place.
Guys, I don't know what's going on here. So I got this tin in Canada Dry advertising left on my doorstep. I have no idea who put it there.
Interesting.
You remember when I got the the chocolates for Christmas?
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
the unknown secret admirer.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this has something to do with it.
Oh.
I don't know who gave this to me. Like, they have to know I'm Canada Dry, right?
Damn
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
It's I love it, but it's perplexing.
It is. It is.
I still think it's Haney.
Noobs
Amy, are you my secret admirer? You my secret admirer.
It's Alec Haney. He's flying daily to Vancouver to drop stuff off.
He didn't mean to say I judge you daily. He meant to say I stalk you daily.
Well, he could be judging me from like outside my house.
That's true.
Yeah. He's judging what your pajamas are today. Yeah.
Like, could it be one of these Japanese girls?
It very well could be, my good sir. All right, before we get started with the main event, we got to go through what we like to call our housekeeping, if you will. And that starts with the news. From the four corners of the globe, from our studios to your home, this is FNN, the FN News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB. All right.
He's from Chicago.
Chicago.
Hey, noob, if it make you feel any better, I was born in Chicago, baby. I got the Chicago tattoo. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
So wait, you're James from Boston with the Chicago tattoo.
Well, no, because I
I
also have
lives in Nashville.
the Boston tattoo.
You need Nashville somewhere now. You gotta do the trifecta.
It's the
Every state you
JFC
live in,
triangle.
you gotta-
Chicago, Boston, back down to Tennessee.
Triangle of Doom. All right, so
All you need though for that is just a 10 and a C.
Yeah.
Just a 10 and a C somewhere.
There you go.
I like it. So who watches New Japan Pro Wrestling here? Who was shocked and surprised to see Jungle Jack Perry appear on the New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle in the Valley, where he tore up his contract with AEW? What does this mean? Is Jungle Jack not part of AEW anymore? Is he only?
I think this is a storyline because you can't rip up your contract and it be legit.
Oh, you can. In California, you could tear up anything and it's considered to be official because California is just out there.
Yeah, we still have the real copy, Jungle Boy. Here's right here. You can't just photocopy something and rip. I wish they did this on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Ripping up the contract on Dynamite.
Yeah.
And then he shows up unannounced.
Yeah.
Like attacks somebody, kicks them out of the ring or whatever, and does this and then heads off. And then shows up New Japan.
Okay.
I think that would be better.
It was surprising to see Jungle Jack. I mean, obviously he's feeling a lot better. It'll be interesting to see. I think from now, if he does wrestle in AEW, here in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, we're under winter storm warning. Hey, I'm in Nashville. I know. I fully understand that. Winter storm warning, which means full alert. Nobody can drive because everybody is a freaking idiot when it comes to snow in Tennessee.
I hope that wasn't real paper.
It was. I watched him tear it. It looked. It was definitely not a work. It was a shoot piece of paper. So
it was made of hemp. It wasn't tree.
Yeah. It was hemp. Hemp paper. Yeah. It was papyrus, if you will. Papyrus. Hard to Kill pay-per-view was last night for TNA. We have a couple of things really quickly, including one, Nick Nemeth, otherwise known as Dolph Ziggler. He makes his TNA debut at Hard to Kill, attacks Moose after Moose beat Josh Alexander. So now we have a possible next pay-per-view match. It's going to be Nick Nemeth versus Moose at the next TNA pay-per-view, I would imagine. Someone else.
I think like we were all predicting Nick Nemeth was the big name.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know how much he's getting.
Not as much as he made in WWE.
No, but it's still breaking the bank for TNA.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Here's the thing. I'm sure he's subsidizing anything he's not making that he made in WWE. Because I have a feeling we may see him in AEW. We may see him in other promotions, indie promotions, working New Japan. I mean, the guy's a golden ticket. That guy's a company man. He's gonna be successful no matter where he goes.
AEW and TNA don't have exactly a working relationship anymore. So,
True.
Yeah.
So I don't see him showing up to.
What do you
New
think a top
Japan
guy makes?
has the benefit of being so far away
Yeah.
that you're like, okay, you can work with them.
What do you say a top guy makes in TNA? Like 200 grand, something like that.
I would say probably. I would say close to probably about $1 million. Maybe.
You think so? You think they have that much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they.
Dolph is guaranteed making $1 million.
I don't know if he's making $1 million, but I would say at
Whoa,
least
it's not. Like they made a big deal. Like we're breaking the bank. They were saying that.
Well, someone else showed up from WWE on TNA, and that was Dana Brooks. She showed up at the Hard to Kill. She is known now as Ash by Elegance. Ooh, sounds like a perfume that you can buy at Walgreens, ladies and gentlemen. Ash by Elegance.
Oh, good for her. I mean, I
The
figured she
problem
would
with like
disappear.
it's the problem with like her image there
Yeah.
is if you don't say, "Oh, it's formerly Dana Brooke from WWE," you're like, who?
Yeah.
Right? She doesn't even look anything like the Dana Brooke character.
No, she doesn't.
Mhm.
Now, you ever heard the thing where you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back? Well, TNA took 2 steps forward signing Nick Nemeth and signing Dana Brooke, but they took 1 step back because Trinity dropped the Knockouts Championship to Jordan Grace, and now there's rumors that Trinity will show back up at WWE as Naomi at the Royal Rumble. That's the rumor. That's the rumor.
So-
I tell you.
So Bailey and Mercedes Moné were at the event last night, and they had shades and hoodies on.
Yep.
Why are they there if they're just watching their friend lose? Like, are they just supporting their friend? Like,
Probably, most likely, they're supporting.
it's like, I guess you win or lose, you're still there to support your friend, I guess.
That's all wrestling is, supporting your friends and family. Matt Riddle showed up at the Battle in the Valley, and he returns with Jeff Cobb to reunite their tag team, the Chosen Bros.
Alex Haney, we all said it was Ziggler.
Yeah.
Only one. No one, like,
Yeah, I'm
I
pretty
guess
sure.
Hammerstone. And I was also right because Hammerstone is also TNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think
I
we
was also-
literally all said it was going to be Nemeth.
Yeah.
I did say Hammerstone at first, but I was also I double dipped.
Yeah, that's true. And it's okay. You can double dip. Nobody here is going to tell you can't dip a chip twice.
It's all good.
We've all done it. Whether you want to admit it or not, we've all done it.
It's like sticking your whole mouth in the bowl. Take one dip and end it.
End it.
So, speaking of people who are injured, Britt Baker was backstage Wednesday night at TNT Homecoming, the AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite Homecoming. Pac was also in the back as well. You know, my beautiful love, JJB, Jessica Baldwin. She says that Britt is out because, well, Britt's probably had plastic surgery. So
That's what she said.
that's a hot take right there.
That's not a hot take. Where is the start of the bad takes, JJ?
So she's going to WWE. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. There you go.
Alex, how you doing?
Yeah, I've just joined because I don't feel it's appropriate to be defamed when I have evidence of a conversation between me and you, me convincing you that it was going to be Nick that was joining TNA and not AEW. So,
But I also
I
said
believe-
Hammerstone.
I believe
I said Hammerstone. I wasn't wrong.
and I believe I was laughed at. Why would
No one laughed at you.
Why would TNA,
Who laughed at you?
the second biggest company in what was it in the world in wrestling? Why would they not go to AEW?
Okay, wait. Wait a second. I got my impression of Alex Haney here.
Okay.
Oh, look, everybody thinks I'm wrong, but I'm not. Look at this. There we go.
Why is it? Why is it every time I come on your show you be racist towards me?
Well, what did Drew McIntyre say next, Canada Dry?
I mean, that's absolutely outrageous. You can't be doing that.
I'm sorry. I'll try. I'll try better.
I can speak like this for the rest of my duration on this. However, I'm on. You know, if you want me to speak like this,
I know. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I feel like we're watching.
Sorry, it's not good enough. It's. I mean, it's no wonder that everybody hates Canada. You know,
I feel like such a doober.
it's a dauber, not a duber.
Oh, Dover. I'm sorry. I'm from the other side. We call it Doober.
Yes.
Oh my God! Next thing in the list, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits have a new name for their faction. It's called the Pride. All right, I don't think we need to commentate on that. WWE is filming content for a possible Bray Wyatt project. Bray Wyatt. What do we think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be kind of like a highlight of his career in WWE? Are they going to include Husky Harris?
I think they're going to start from the very start of his WWE career as Husky Harris, the NXT or new Nexus member, and they'll do it right till the end. That's all it is. It's just a special thing for the network.
Okay.
Is it not A&E? It's doing it. It's not the WWE.
No, it's WWE.
I might. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyone want to take a guess who's going to call Sting's last match?
Good old JR.
Good old JR. That's right. Oh, golly gosh, damn, ding, doom,
It's going to be a slobber knocker.
It's going to be a slobber knocker. That's right. JR will be calling Sting's last match at Revolution. I believe Mr. Isaacs called it first, where go away, Haney.
Tiffany's talking trash.
Yeah.
So it was Jeremy, it was Mr. Isaacs who said that most likely Ric Flair will cost Sting his last match, which will lead into another last match. Because remember, all wrestlers don't die. They just keep wrestling and wrestling.
There's no way in hell that they're going to do that. If they're going to do it, they have to do it before the last match to make that drama.
You know, something that
have Ric Flair join the Bucks.
Yeah, something that dawned on me yesterday when we were doing the highs and lows of Sting on Magic of Wrestling. If anybody hasn't checked that out, this is Sting's third retirement because he retired from TNA and then he went to WWE and then he retired from WWE and then now he's in AEW. So
did he technically retire from WWE or was he just injured? Did he get on the mic and say this?
No, I think he said it, backstage that he was done.
Okay. Yeah.
Rumor has it he's actually for retirement. He's actually subscribed to the Bob Ross channel so he can finally learn how to draw.
Hey, I'm giving you a standing ovation.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Amazing. That was absolutely amazing.
I wonder how long he's been waiting to use that one.
He's been saving that one up for a while.
Do you have like an arsenal that you have in your back pocket?
Yeah,
Alex,
I do.
You're just ready to pull them out and boom.
I'm a very creative guy,
Oh, for sure you are.
So let me ask you this, Haney. So Starrcade '97 was the biggest drawing pay-per-view in the history of WCW. Sting had nothing to do with that. Was that just Hogan?
That was Hogan 100%. Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Was this? You know what it was? It was Bret Hart coming in as a referee at the end. That's what it drew.
Of course it was. Of course it was. I can't remember. Did everybody know Bret was debuting that event?
He was the referee of Zbyszko and Scott Hall on that.
Yeah, that was. What a way to debut Bret Hart! So oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so we got one more in the chamber to shoot. Vice TV, despite being the fact that they filed for bankruptcy, have it actually renewed Dark Side of the Ring for a season 5. So we will be getting another season 5.
I have a hot take here from Caleb Bain. Alex, you sound like Mickey Mouse. Go to hell.
All right, let's get to our joke of the week. Holy crap. Joke of the week.
Caleb
Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart. Every day, people are mocked because they feel that dad jokes are the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. That's messed up. I believe that no one should have to fight for their humor. It's okay to dad joke.
Hello, one and all. It is Better Than Your Boyfriend, Lord Ryan Rich, with your official joke of the week. What is the difference between a Range Rover and a hedgehog? With a hedgehog, the pricks are on the outside. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your Sunday. We'll see you next week.
Oh, he's so right.
That was pretty good.
That was a good one. I like that.
You can also use porcupine.
Oh my God, the pricks are on the outside.
I thought he was going to say something to the effect of when you crash a Range Rover, rings don't come flying out.
That's true. That's true. Trust me.
You can mess around.
To be fair, Sonic the Hedgehog is a bit of a, that was a dick, you know?
He's a bit of a dick.
Why is Sonic the Hedgehog a dick?
I mean, he's got that wee, like, thing tails following him about everywhere, and he just treats him like crap, you know? It's like, he's not a good friend. Not a good friend.
So he's kind of like Batman.
Yeah.
He's dragging Robin around, making him wear this little green tights when he's got all the armor.
Yeah.
I mean, here's a real fact. If you try to hit a hedgehog with a baseball bat, a real hedgehog, they do not give out rings. Mostly blood and organs.
I'm concerned why you know this.
I'm just saying.
Do we need to contact animal control? Do we need to contact PETA?
Was this scientific research for a film project, JFB?
Yes. Yes, it was. All right, guys, let's get to our main event, if you will. Roll it.
Gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
So
Here
Alec,
Yeah.
you can stay, but if someone else calls in, I gotta switch you out. Okay?
Oh, I don't know about that. That's not. I mean, that's not fair. I was the first here.
We can get as many people calling in as possible. You can stay as long as someone else.
You
doesn't
know,
call.
you know that little what was it? Power Ranging loving dweeb Caleb's going to phone in now. 'Cause
Jeremy, can I get a translation?
I think it said something about haggis. I don't know.
Haggis Scott.
that's racist. That's Jeremy.
I can't understand what you
I
just
thought
said.
better of you.
Can you say it again?
Listen, you've got to understand the haggis, the little haggis are an endangered species. You shouldn't be mocking.
They are. I know you used to have a haggis farm.
Yes.
Do you still have that haggis farm?
No.
No, what happened to it?
Do you know about the new laws in the UK about the XL dogs where they were banned?
Yeah.
Well, the little haggis fell into that because they're little vicious sods. So, not allowed to keep them anymore.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
You had to release the haggis into the wild.
Yes.
Wow, wow. That's unfortunate.
But the thing is, if you catch a haggis and you're going to eat it, don't eat the front legs because it's hallucinogenic.
Yes.
That sounds like that's what you want to eat then.
Well,
You want to trip balls off some haggis. I mean, come on.
Oh, I mean, this is too hygienic.
All right, guys. You know, in all effing wrestling, we like to talk about. We all have hot takes, and we all have.
we all also have bad takes. We're not all good.
We're going to start off with one, and it's going to be mine. We're going to start off first. John Cena was a bigger draw in his prime than Hogan, Stone Cold, and Rock at their pinnacle.
Combined?
Combined.
You say combined?
John
This
Cena was a bigger draw.
okay. I'm gonna go first. This is a
Oh.
bad take.
I
I'll go first. This is a bad take. No. I'll go first. This is a bad take.
Okay.
Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold were both pinnacles of their eras.
Okay.
John Cena, he wasn't quite on their level because the wrestling industry wasn't quite there.
Okay.
So that's what I feel like. The golden age and the attitude era are much higher up. So it's about the era you're in, rather than the star itself.
There's a lot to take into consideration with this as well. I mean, it has who's posted this, if they looked at numbers and not considered stuff like inflation and things like that, of like sort of like value. I mean, if you talk about like if you're talking like people say about like the highest grossing movie of all times, like I don't know what, like Avengers or something like that, you know, or Pandora or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But if you take inflation into consideration, you're looking at Gone with the Wind and other films like that but was it that technically are, you know? So I don't know if it came from that point, but I mean I might be wrong, but I think it's a bad take.
Okay, Mr. Isaacs.
I know where my man JFB is coming from here. I know what he's getting at. What he's getting at is that the WWE made more money during Cena than they did during those others because of the fact that, not necessarily because of John Cena's drawing power, but because of that the company itself had more streams of revenue come in during Cena's era. So I think that if you're thinking of it in terms of John Cena himself being a bigger draw than Austin and Hogan, I think that's a bad take. But I understand where he's coming from, that the WWE as an organization made more money under Cena because they had increased revenue through more worldwide distributions, television, and that kind of stuff. So I know where he's coming from. I think the statement at its core, though, is a bad take.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you feel about being bad takes by all of us? Is this what your feelings?
Is it really anything new? This isn't new. This is an ongoing thing with the JFB.
Do you have an explanation for it?
In all honesty, Cena was a big draw. I mean, he put butts in seats. And
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was the number one selling merchandise for WWE for almost 20 years. He's not even wrestling still, and he's still a bigger merch draw than 99% of the wrestlers wrestling in WWE today. People still use his gear.
I mean, that's fair, and nobody has ever seen him, so we don't know what it looks like.
All right.
Let's get to the next one. One.
Joseph Mathers, friend of the show.
That's noob.
Yeah. Here we go.
You don't have the images?
Yeah. No, I don't have the images. Hot take or bad take? Asuka's run on the main roster didn't get enough love. The majority of her run has been overshadowed by the Four Horsemen, Ronda Rousey, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. But as a wrestling fan, I enjoy Asuka in an entertaining sense. She deserves her flowers. Can to dry.
I think we need to add a secondary take, maybe a mid take. It's not quite bad, but it's not quite hot either.
You've got to pick one.
Well, you know what? I think I'm going to change it to bad because I think that Asuka has had championships. She's had her runs. She hasn't always been the top woman in WWE, but I think she's had her flowers. I think she's done well. especially since she changed her gimmick to the heel gimmick with their new face paint. So I don't think she's hard off as Noob thinks.
Okay. Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Oscar fan, and I'm a huge fan of her. And when she was in Japan as well. So I do think our NXT run was amazing, you know. So she came up, and then obviously they had this scenario where she lost to Charlotte, you know. Which was a bit of an odd one, but obviously that's what sort of led to other things. I think she's had a great run. She's well respected, you know, and she's in that sort of group. I think the concept, and this goes for a lot of people. This whole sort of people are not booked right, or they're are they underappreciated is not true. You know, like like with the Dolph Ziggler thing as well. You know, or all these other ones, all the way. But was it WWE did them a wrong, and then you actually look what they achieved. You know.
Yeah.
But you can't actually sort of then go, well, you can't actually criticize them for then sort of like going out elsewhere and and wanting to do other things. But I can obviously, like Edge, who's a traitor. But anyways, we'll get back to the point. I think it's a bad take in the sense that I don't believe that sort of thing is the case for many wrestlers. I think most wrestlers get an opportunity, and it's whether or not we don't see what they do in the background as well.
Right.
If they're not ready to grab it, then you know, then why should they be given it? Why not somebody else? You know. But I think that's a good run.
Okay.
So 2 bad takes. We'll see if you guys can redeem Noob.
I think you all are erroneously looking at my man Noob's statement here. I don't think he was saying that Asuka's had a bad main roster run. I just think that he's saying that she usually takes a back seat to the horsewomen, and I would agree with that. I think Asuka's probably the best women's wrestler on earth. She's amazing. I've loved her, particularly in NXT when she was super dominant. And I mean, she's had some great runs on the main roster too. I kind of like the new Muda kind of look she's had the past couple of years. I'm going to say it's a hot take because I do think she's been overshadowed.
Can I do a sub bad take? Can I do a sub bad take on yours? Because she's not the best women's wrestler on earth for sure. Not bad take.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
Can I do a sub
Who
take
is?
on Aaron?
Markova, I guess.
No, I think it's very subjective.
Well, who do you think's better? Throw a name out.
But we're not going to get on that. We're going to focus on that.
Okay. So I have a bad take, but you're not going to prove me wrong.
I just wanted to slap you. I just wanted to pile drive you in the middle of the ring and move on.
I see where this is going. This is going to be
I would say on that as well. Again, this is a modern wrestling thing. If you go back and look at the traditional babyface heel thing, the babyface didn't. I mean, 9 times out of 10 didn't win. That was a big sort of like continuation or the end result of something, you know. I know Hogan changed that, you know, but I mean, Asuka's always been there or thereabouts in that sort of main event with the women, whether or not she's won the title or not is a different, and then getting upset about or whether or not she won the title or that won that match is a completely different thing. That's an opinion as opposed to not been given the opportunity or look past. If you look at what she's done, she's always been there since she came up. She's always been in that main event sort of environment.
Yeah.
What is your bad? What is this? A good take or bad take, JP?
I mean, for me, it's a hot take. I don't think she gets
50-50.
the recognition that she deserves. I think she is an incredible attribute to any promotion she goes to wrestle for, and she doesn't get any love whatsoever. So I'm going with a hot take. I think Noob has pretty much hit it right on the head. So
my man Noob.
Can I ask something then? Is that on the WWE or is that on the fans? Because what was it? I mean,
I think it's on the WWE and their booking of her.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, 100%.
But Aaron, you said it was a bad take.
No, I said it was a hot take.
No, I'm saying Aaron.
Yeah, I said it was a bad take. I agree with you.
All right, let's go to our next one from some guy named Aaron J. Harder. know who this guy is. He's a friend of the show. We know that because he
He's
posts.
a friend of the show.
He is a friend of the show. Hot take or bad take? AEW needs to stay away from Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Moné. It isn't good business decision. Aside from the day one surprise, she isn't going to move the needle, not in AEW at least. Warner Brothers is only allowing one women's match per show on TV. The Sasha Banks Mercedes Moné increase ratings, but asses and seats and sell pay-per-views. The answer is no. She just increases the budget. Build the stars you already have. I'm going to go with Alex Haney on this one first.
Oh, I feel bad again because I'm going to say this is a no. I'm going to say this is a this is I agree with this is a good take, a hot take. For me, what was it? Everything will be great when if or when she comes in until that time comes where they want to take the belt off her and go in a different direction. That's when the WWE's had that sort of trouble traditionally. If you actually read what supposedly was went on, if that's sort of true.
Yeah,
a lot of evidence to that. I do think she would bring something to the product, but I think it would be at the detriment of the harmony of that locker room. I mean, I know she's with Saraya and things like that. You know, it does appear that to me that the locker room is beginning to get even more and more divisive. It's almost in that era where they clicked way back in 94, 95, you know, where there's a group of women like Saraya and Tony Storm and Sasha would definitely be in that sort of group, you know. Not being sort of bullies the wrong word, wanting to make sure that they get the positioning, you know, and they believe that they get that positioning as well. So I think it's a hot take that it's a bad idea to bring her in.
Okay.
That's not to take away from the talent she's got, you know.
Yeah.
One of the best. One of the best wrestlers, but is not wrestling in any major. Company through no fault of her phone, and that's Tisha Blanchard. You know.
Yeah.
But was terrible person, but amazing talent. You know.
Yeah, Mr. Expert.
I think this kind of hinges on how much Monet we're talking about paying this woman.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Well, yeah, because you had this WWE apparently rumored that she left the table because the money wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So I think let me just start by saying I think there's a lot of upside to her in the sense of that she has a buzz. She is a good talent when she's motivated. She has her bad moments too in the ring. I think she would be a merch seller. And I think that it would draw some viewership, at least in the short term. But what you have to look at too is she going to demand a crazy amount of money that you're not going to recoup through merchandising and marketing? Or is she going to create issues backstage? And I think there's a very likelihood she would. Do you think if you went up to her and asked her to lose cleanly to Chris Statlander, that she might not get offended by that, knowing her history? So I'm going to say it's a hot take because I think they're taking a big gamble if they go with her and pay her a lot of money. Now, if they lowball her,
you only get one women's match a night.
What's that?
There's also the factor you only get one women's match a night.
Yeah, and I mean you can't really build a huge women's star on one match a night. Like you got to have a division to work with her. So
and if you bring her in, her screen time is at the expense of others.
Yeah. So I'm going to say all those points considered, it's a hot take.
And if just on that, if the rumor's true that WWE's walked away because of money, I mean, how much extra is Tony willing to pay? I mean, I read a ridiculous rumor that they were offering her more than Brock Lesnar, which I don't believe for 1 second. That of internet. So it's like, come on. But I mean, stranger things have happened, you know. But what was it? When you bring in that big talent with a big salary, it causes issues. Just look at WCW, you know.
I mean, I'm going to go with hot take because here's the thing. I think 90% of the mystique around Mercedes Moné / Sasha Banks is you don't know where she's going to show up, what promotion she's going to wrestle for a couple months before she pisses someone off, and then they kick her out or they let her go, or she just decides I'm not going to wrestle anymore. And I get it. She's injured. She has an ankle injury. She's trying to deal with it. But I guarantee you she came with some exorbitantly large amount of inflated ego for what she deserved versus what WWE thinks she deserves money-wise.
Well, she's got to be wanting something close to what Charlotte's getting.
She's probably wants something that, and she wants a cut of her merch as well.
Yeah.
Which, unless you're John Cena or you're someone else, you're not going to get it. You're just not.
I mean, here's a question for you. Do you think there was? I mean, what's confusing me is she was at All In. So what is the deal? Has the deal already been done and they've just paused? They're just pausing on the debut. And
I think she was just there to see your friends.
Yeah,
I think so too.
She's not going to fly. Yeah. She's not going to fly over the other side of the Atlantic just to go see her friends.
Well, she's also home, so she can see her family. Right?
Yeah. She would be the type that would do that, though. To be like, look at me, I'm a big star. I flew all the way over here to go to Wembley to see my friends. It's
like also like keeping your name relevant, right? Them doing a camera angle on you.
She's been paid to be there. She was on the screen, and she wasn't AEW talent, And I can assure you, there was wrestlers there. What was it? Like from the UK at that event that weren't given screen time. So, what was it called? She was paid to be there. So I think that.
Yeah, I imagine that Tony probably paid her flight over there, paid her a little bit to go up for the one show
to make it look like a bigger deal. Like, do you really think that Eminem bought a ticket and flew to Saudi Arabia to watch the Ngannou Fury boxing match? Or did they just pick him out and say, hey, why don't you come over here so we can have a star-studded looking event here and make it look like a big deal? That's probably what they did with Mercedes.
Yeah, like, because imagine they do that a lot, right? Why not? You're making all this money to sit and enjoy a thing. Why not?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what made boxing so awesome in the 80s and the 90s was when it was a Tyson pay-per-view, anybody who was anybody was in the audience watching that fight. And you're like, oh, shit, look, it's that guy. Oh, crap, look, it's that guy. Like, look who's watching Mike Tyson beat up like Lester Spinks in a 30-second match after they build it up for 3.5 hours with all these pre-bouts.
Yes.
Let's go to Canada Dry. Canada Dry, your thoughts on Aaron Harder's tape?
Oh, man, this guy's got a lot of... He talks some shit.
Yeah.
What a mark.
I gotta say it's a hot take. It's well thought out. I don't usually agree with this guy, but I gotta agree with him on this one. It's a hot take.
He sounds a bit of a narcissist, to be honest.
What did he say?
Like I said, Aaron is a bit of a narcissist, I think is what he said.
Oh, yeah, no.
No, he's a soft in the earth.
He's just a nice fella.
All right, let's go to our next one. This is from Leston, or the Kush, as we know him, friend of the show.
Bad take.
Hot take or bad take? TNA Wrestling will go back to what it was over 10 years ago. I mean, to be on regular TV channel and be in the top 3 wrestling company promotions by the end of the year. Mr. Isaacs, you go first.
All right, guys. I get that everybody's excited about the TNA reboot and everything, but we got to pump the brakes a little bit here. Like, people are acting like TNA is going to come in and they're going to immediately start getting over 1 million weekly viewers again, and they're going to reclaim number 2, and they're going to be the kings of the world. Guys, come on. I mean, I get the excitement here.
Your turn. You can take it.
Let me finish, Haney. I don't think that TNA is going to be this world beater that everybody acts like it's going to be. They're not going to be number 2. They don't have the money of Tony Khan. They don't have guys like Bryan Danielson. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to be number 2. They lost that spot when Tony Khan got into the wrestling business, and I don't think they're ever going to get it back. I noticed he said in that post, too, that they're going to be on a real network. No, they're not. Anthem bought them. Anthem owns Access TV. They're not leaving Access TV, period. So are they going to get a little bit of a bump? in viewership and revenue? Probably. But I don't think it's enough to ever get back to what they were at 10 years ago when they were getting more viewers than AEW is getting now.
So is that a bad take?
It's a bad take.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I have a feeling it's going to be. I'm going to call it. It's a hot take. I think Kush is right. I think, in all honesty, you need another promotion that will get the downfall and the trickle down, if you will, of fans who are just hungry for more wrestling. Like, I get it. WWE.
So you're a big fan of the trumped up trickle down effect?
I am. Yeah. No. Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Oh boy. We're getting into macroeconomics here.
Yeah. Hey, just saying. So, I mean, the thing to remember is, like, WWE's on 4 times a week. AEW's on 4 times a week. And sometimes you don't want to watch AEW and you don't want to watch WWE because it seems to be the same repetitious over and over and over again. But TNA is just doing different stuff. And the thing is, they have a lot of great talent that they have cultivated over the years. Josh Alexander, for one. This guy is probably one of the top 5 wrestlers in wrestling today. And he is killing it. And he is a TNA, well, not a TNA original, but I mean, he's been in TNA long enough that if he was to leave, that would make waves.
Well,
That
technically,
would make waves.
the original, that TNA, it's the re-original. After last night.
So let me ask you this, JFB. Do you get the Anthem channel?
I do, yeah. And I watch TNA occasionally, and now that
Oh, wait. So you watch it occasionally.
Yeah.
So you're not even giving the show the own bump you think it's gonna get.
Listen, with Dolph Ziggler there, with Trinity possibly leaving, with well, not Dana Brooke, because Dana Brooke's not going to put in seats, but like I like Dolph Ziggler. I like Nick Hammerstone showing up. I mean, I think they have a legit chance of being a solid number 3 promotion.
Top Dollar was there last night too. There's a few good names.
Yeah. So let's go with you, Canada Dry.
I think this is a bad take. I think their spot is competing for that number 3 spot with MLW, with NWA. New Japan's kind of its own thing because it's a bit of a niche product. So you don't have to really compete with New Japan. You can use it to your credit. I just think they're competing for number 3 with the other companies, and you're not going to break the number 2. You're not going to break number 1. It's a bad take.
Okay, Haney.
I think it's a difficult one. Either one of two things is happening in my opinion, to TNA. Either this is the last throw at the dice, and they're throwing everything in the one basket, or they've got money invested somewhere. Could be WWE in the background. They've done it before. I'm not saying that it is. I'm not making any rumors. It's just interesting that all of a sudden they've got a bit of money behind them. So it's got to be one of the two things, or a secret benefactor. I think to say that they can't compete with AEW is a bit of an understatement because they did have a following, and people might come back to it. A lot of people watch TNA because they were fed up with the WWE product, and they left the sort of TNA product because they were fed up with the TNA trying to become the WWE product, which is a bit what sort of happened to AEW in the last year. I feel they got too much into the sort of sports entertainment side of things. I know they can't try to keep on pushing the sort of like they've got like wins and losses and things like that, but too many gimmicky storyline stuff. I mean, you think of the thing, but obviously we're not talking about AEW, but I think for me it is a hot take that they could reestablish himself and reestablish that fan base. It's just about reawakening that fan base,
Yeah.
It's called and there was a lot of people did watch TNA, and TNA. One of the things that you're not taking into sort of perspective is how huge they were here in Europe and in the UK. There's a huge love for TNA here.
Yeah.
You know, so what was it?
Is this a hot take?
It's a hot take, yeah.
Okay.
So another 50-50.
Yeah. Let's go to our next one. Scott Cater, friend of the show, says, in my opinion, Hangman Page's reign as AEW champion doesn't get the love that it deserves. Granted, he wasn't as popular as Omega or Moxley, and his run was outshone by the Punk MJF feud. But let's view his reign in more detail. 2 classic matches with Bryan Danielson, including a 60-minute draw, defeating Lance Archer in his specialist match. A great contest that gave Dante Martin his biggest moment yet, and a great feud with Adam Cole that gave us 2 great matches. Hangman sadly will not be viewed as a great champion, but the run he had deserves much love. Canada Dry, go first.
This isn't a hot take. This is a bad take. Because you had outside of the Adam Cole feud.
Yeah.
Outside of the Bryan Danielson matches, you had nothing.
Yeah.
Like the fact he's quoting Archer and who was the other guy? Dante Martin. Yeah, the fact you're going Archer and Dante Martin as look at those matches. No, those are not top quality stars in AEW.
Yes.
So I think that's a bad take.
Okay. Alex Haney.
Bad take. For sort of the same reason. Nothing was really sort of memorable about it. What was it? Apart from some good matches, you know. What was it called? And what was it? And all his sort of personality they had sort of disappeared as soon as he got the belt.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, what was it? I wasn't a big fan of the thing, but yeah, pretty much. I mean, he went from being a drunk to a world champion.
I also think that his title reign is higher.
Has done that 16 times, but still, what was it called? Yeah, bad take.
Okay.
And I think his championship is mired a bit by the CM Punk bullshit that went on when he lost the belt.
Yeah,
but from that perspective, most people didn't even know. Only sort of like smart fans, you know, knew that that was something. Most people didn't know until weeks later, till it was explained to them by all the commentators and things like that. You know, or the people on the YouTube, like the Cornets and things like that. They didn't know that that's what Punk was saying or what Hangman was saying. You know, so there was no controversy till there was controversy in that scenario. You know,
so someone leaked that information.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Expert.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on this one. I'm probably leaning towards bad take a little bit, but with that said, that hour-long match you had with Danielson is one of the greatest matches in AEW history by far, and I think up to that point, it was the best match in AEW history, in my opinion. But the reign overall, it was just okay. Hangman is not Mr. Personality. He's not Mr. Promo. And that's abundantly clear when you make him the champion. Now, the work rate of what he was doing in the ring around this time was fantastic. But I didn't think he had the poise to be a strong world champion.
No.
Hangman's time went as soon as he didn't win the title straight away at that first big event. Yeah. You know, what was it? And people says, "Oh, it'll happen. It'll happen." It says, "No." It was almost sort of like, yeah, he's going to get it down the line because one of the OG guys, you know, he was involved, brought in. It was almost like, yeah, we need to get this belt on him because the others have had it now. So yeah, as soon as he lost that match, it was over for Hangman, and that run was over. I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I say this is a bad take. Your champion needs to be multifaceted. He needs to have a great work rate in the ring. He needs to have great matches. He needs to have matches that make people buy pay-per-views, but he also needs to be able to cut promos. He needs to be able to have ring psychology, and Hangman doesn't have that. yeah, you throw him in, he has a bunch of great matches. That's fantastic. But that guy can't cut a promo to save his life. And his ring, he does the same moves over and over and over again. There's no ring psychology. The only time you really saw any kind of a ring psychology and a bit of storytelling was with Swerve Strickland, and that was
and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. And Daniel Bryan, yeah. So, I mean, overall, I think this is a bad take. I think his reign will go down as probably one of the most mediocre title reigns in AEW history.
Yeah.
Unless they give it to the Jungle Boy or somebody like that.
It's just to sort of say, as well, an aspect of any sort of run is it can really come down to the fans. I mean, people might look at that. I mean, obviously Scott does. People might look at that down the line and say, "Oh, that was a really good run." You know, if you go back to when Bret Hart was champion in the WWE, a lot of people says that was the worst time in WWE history. You know, but that was because they get rid of all the big guys because they were all steroid up in the steroid trial and things like that. But if you actually go and watch the matches that Bret was having, they're absolute just killer matches after killer matches. You know, it's just like sometimes it's just the audience. You know, and I think it was too late for Hangman. You know, the audience had sort of moved on.
You know? I want to hot take what he just said there about Bret Hart in the 90s. I think that's a hot take.
That's a hot take. I agree. All right, let's go to our next one. This is from Scott Cater. Today, my personal wrestling opinion is that Grayson Waller is a guy that WWE needs to book to the moon. In my opinion, he can be the heel that they can build around for the next 10 years or so. I did think Austin Theory could be that guy, but as a heel, Walter can easily be a heel world champion in the same mold as Triple H and Chris Jericho was. Let's go with Alex Haney. Haney, your thoughts?
I like Grayson Waller, but I think it's. Oh, I'm conflicted in this one. It was. I think it's a little bit of a bad take.
Yeah.
It's so easy to go bad take. What is it?
No. You've got to pick one or the other. You know, you've got to pick one or the other. For me, I mean, I think pretty sooner rather than later, Grayson. I mean, he's not wrestling, and I know he's had the injury. You know.
Yeah.
But sooner rather than later, he's probably going to transition to that sort of that commentary booth thing because he's a great talker. You know. But what was it? And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, what was it? Like he's seen as a new guy, but he's. I mean, not to be ageist, but he's in his mid-30s. You know, what was it? Austin Theory. Austin Theory's still got time. You know, look at MJF. You know, look what MJF achieved in like 2 years. You know, what was it? Grayson's been there or thereabouts for just the same amount of time, and I know he had the injury. You know, but what was it? I don't think long term what was WWE even have that vision for him, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, he'll make a great manager.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Mr. Expert.
Yeah, I'm also going to say it's a bad take. I'm not huge on Grayson Waller.
Scott Cater.
What's that?
Poor Scott Cater.
I'm just not big on Grayson Waller. I think he's good. I think he's good in the ring. To say that he's going to be the level of heel of like a Triple H and Jericho, I just don't see it with him. I just don't. I think he's a good kind of mid-card heel. They've got him. For one thing, I always think it looks ridiculous he wears boxing trunks. Like he's not a boxer. Like he's not Mark Marrow. Like I don't understand that. It just looks.
I didn't like it on Mark Marrow either.
him doing the stupid talk show thing. I'm so sick of the WWE in-ring talk shows. They're all god awful.
And how many people get shows in WWE? You get a show. You get a show.
Everybody does, and it's like I'm sorry, but Grayson Waller and Kevin Owens are not Roddy Piper. Like no, like they shouldn't be doing this.
Or Adrian Adonis for that matter.
Yeah. You know,
they don't even
the barber shop. Like people were good at it back in the day, but it's like,
the Snake Pit was really good too.
The Snake Pit. I mean, it just sucks now. I just don't like it. I don't like those kind of segments. I just haven't seen anything from this guy that screams top heel for the next decade to me. And I'm kind of with Alec. I think that if I was going to assign that level to somebody, it would be Theory, because Theory's younger. I think he looks better. I think he's better in the ring. And I think that if they put some focus into him the next couple of years, he could possibly get up to that level. But I don't think it's going to be Waller.
Yeah. This is a bad take, Scott. Sorry to say it, but let's be honest with you. Grayson Waller is a big guy in a big guy's world in WWE. He fits that prototype that Vince likes. And in all honesty, the guy can barely cut a promo. The guy can barely, he's just, I don't even know if he's mid card. I don't really think, I think he's a guy that you feed the champions and champions just destroy him. That's just that's how I see Grayson Waller.
Yeah.
So
he's who The Rock beats up when he comes out.
Exactly.
Every couple of years.
I'll give my take on this one.
Yeah.
Speaking of The Rock. Okay, so The Rock came out and beat up Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
So Jinder Mahal had a nice world championship run. Didn't win anything cleanly, but he had all of India behind him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do this with Grayson Waller for the whole country of Australia, making him an Australian hero.
Yeah, but you have
having
Tegan
a whole
Knox,
continent behind you.
but you have Tegan Knox too. Who's a better person to push to the moon?
Yeah.
Tegan Knox is a woman. She can do it too.
Yeah.
You have a whole. They've never had. Hold on, Haney. You've never had an Australian person who was a top guy. Now, I'm not saying he's this or he's that. He's definitely a good talker. I saw that on his little talk show there. He's a good wrestler. I say you give him the ball and see how far he can go with it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this is a hot take, just to go a different way.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Can't make Scott feel bad. Let's do one more, and that is this. Bullet Club fell off after the Elite left. This is from Liam Wakeland, the magician.
We got to do Dallas's too, because
we'll do
that. That's a hot take.
Oh boy.
I almost threw up.
Is that a hot take or a hot take? With Dallas?
So we got two more. We got this one. We got Dallas's.
So let's go with Canada Dry first. Your thoughts on Bullet Club falling off since the Elite left?
Yeah, I actually said this to Tamatonga on Twitter, and he's like, "Yeah, he retweeted me and said, Bullet Club is still cool, Ron." and I marked out because he retweeted me, so I did it. But I stand by that tweet.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a hot take.
Okay. Haney.
The bad take.
Okay.
Because it was dead and buried as soon as AJ left. The whole point of Bullet Club was lost with the Elite.
Yeah.
They were just prattling about.
Okay.
You know, what was it? 100%. Just absolutely ruined it for me.
So you're saying they fell off before?
Yes.
So you're kind of agreeing with them in a way.
No.
No, he won't agree with Liam. I mean, regardless of what he's saying, he's not going to agree with Liam. Let's go
specifically stated the Elite.
Yeah.
The Elite weren't in the Elite weren't the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega was in the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
The Bucks were the Elite.
Yeah.
Oh, the Bucks were never a Bullet Club?
Yeah.
They were never officially in. It was more sort of Luke Gallows and what's the other idiot?
Anderson, Gallows, Cody Rhodes for a bit.
Yeah.
But that was the Elite, the Bullet Club Elite. There's a different thing. That's a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not get it. So it's a good take or bad? It's a bad take?
Bad take.
Okay.
Let's go to Mr. Expert.
Well, we could get into the weeds about the incarnations of the Bullet Club and what's legitimate and what's not. But I think overall, I think it's a hot take, because if you look at the independent wrestling scene and you look at the internet wrestling community, it was nothing but Bullet Club t-shirts
They sold
during
a
the
lot.
height of the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Cody, and New Japan and Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And I think the height of Bullet Club arguably was Kenny Omega headlining Wrestle Kingdom against Okada.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of the last moment that Bullet Club as an organization and as a marketing tool was really super relevant in the pro wrestling community. I think since then it's just been kind of a faction, but it was like a phenomenon back then. You saw Bullet Club shirts everywhere. I went to Monday Night Raw, several years ago, and I saw more Bullet Club t-shirts than I did like WWE shirts.
Yeah.
But then you just don't see that as much now as you did back then. I think that Bullet Club name just doesn't have as much cachet as it did when those guys left New Japan and Ring of Honor and formed AEW.
Yeah.
You're giving sort of AJ a sort of miscredit there, because the Bullet Club thing really was blown up around that time, around that sort of. That's where it sort of came. That's where it was sort of huge, I sort of disagree with you there, but okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this is a hot take, and here's the reason why. Ultimately, what it comes down to is when you had the Elite as a faction within a faction, and they kind of were separating themselves from Bullet Club Prime. That made a huge difference. And when all these guys left Bullet Club and New Japan Pro Wrestling suffered greatly, because now you have like 14 different factions within Bullet Club. You don't even have Bullet Club anymore. You have like Evil's House of Torture. You have you have all these factions within factions. Guerrillas of Destiny left and left Bullet Club. And just like New Japan's wrestling right now is not that great. Like it's good, but it's nowhere near where it was when Bullet Club was at its height. So This is a hot take. This is definitely a hot take. And this brings us to our last. This is from Dallas Branham, one of the friends of the show, former GM. This is
going to be PG.
It is.
Should have spent more time making Eva Marie a bigger deal. Strap a belt to her. And try you go first.
I think they did do this whole thing, all read everything, and they just kind of dropped it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like they were promoting her and then they just weren't. Like I think he's partially right, but overall partially right.
Okay.
But overall bad take.
Yeah. Overall bad take. All right, Mr. Haney, your thoughts, my friend.
Hot take. Eva Marie was one of the greatest female wrestlers ever not to make it.
Not to make it.
Wow.
Here's a fact for you. She's injured less people than Sting.
That's a hot take.
Woo!
Eva Marie is injured more than less people than Sting.
Just to answer, just to sort of answer what you were saying, sort of Canada Dry, I believe indirectly her push sort of disappeared, and it was more to do with she was on Total Divas at the time, and it was more to do with some derogatory remarks made. I don't know if she's still married to the man, but it had some controversial views, shall we say, that was put online, and all of a sudden she sort of disappeared for a wee while and then came back and then disappeared like sort of permanently, then came back for a little while. But but was it, she wasn't great, was she?
Oh, God.
At least she tried.
That is true.
No, they showed a clip of her doing some training, and she didn't look bad in the training.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can put together a highlight reel. I mean, how many times?
Yeah.
How many times could you? But was it? Can you do a roll up and make it look good? You know.
She was wrestling John Cena. We couldn't see him.
Yeah.
She was training under Brian Kendrick for a while,
Yeah.
and she was starting to improve a little bit under him.
Yeah.
Let's go with the F and expert. Your thoughts?
You know, the case of Eva Marie is a very interesting case study in pro wrestling, because it's pretty undeniable that she had a star quality about her.
Yeah.
She looked amazing. Her entrance was amazing, and she elicited a major reaction from the crowd.
Yeah.
But then when she got in the ring and the bell rang, that's when things kind of changed a little bit.
Yeah.
She was awful in the ring.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody do you all remember when they made her go down to NXT?
Yeah.
And the crowd booed her during a promo and chanted, "You can't wrestle," and she froze up during her promo and started crying.
Yeah.
Do you remember
That's
that?
harsh. That's harsh.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
she
I
just
think like it's a classic case of toxic wrestling making someone even worse.
yeah. So I mean, I gotta say that, and I say it's an interesting case study because she had the look, she was packaged incredibly well. All that was on point, but she couldn't deliver in the ring. So I mean, you can't just gloss over a lack of in-ring acumen. So for me, I'm gonna say it's a bad take.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eva Marie is a very interesting case.
Hey, Goldberg couldn't wrestle and they put the belt on him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Goldberg could wrestle better than her.
One thing.
Hey,
one
Goldberg
thing about,
Goldberg ended a lot of people's, like, he injured a lot of people. She injured
did.
no one.
Yeah, but if they had booked her to look strong like that, she would have
probably
injured
would've.
an equal amount of women. Yeah.
I mean, what was it? The one thing I can't condone that she has got a lot of abuse online. You know, what was it?
Yeah.
Regardless of how much you like, or I mean, but was it or dislike a wrestler? There's no reason to go on there and give them actual what was it, like abuse and wish bad things on them. You know, that to me is just wrong. You know,
It's absurd.
and
Yeah.
I mean, we've lost a couple of wrestlers in Japan to situations with that, you know. So, what was it? I just really, I've seen some of the abuse that she's got. I've read some of the abuse that she's got online, and it's just absolutely appalling, you know. But was it at least the girl was trying, you know. She put her heart into it, you know. Clearly, she wanted it, you know. But what was it? It just wasn't to happen for her, you know. Maybe now in NXT environment she would. It's a different sort of environment. She maybe fit in there a bit better now, you know. But who knows?
I'm gonna say this is a bad take. Eva Marie probably would have been better starting off as a manager and learning the ropes and learning the business. She doesn't come from a wrestling family. She didn't really go to a well-established wrestling school. They didn't really train her until she started getting recognition as being this really extremely attractive woman.
New picture from Natalia Markova on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
But you know, the problem was it's Vince McMahon, and he's like, well, she's really hot. Let's just put her in the ring. And then they do. And then they exposed her instantly that she is not a wrestler. She's just a really good looking woman who wears wrestling clothes really well. And that's it. And I think that if she was a manager for about a year, learned the ropes of the business, learned from several different wrestlers, then I would say this would be a hot take, because you could strap the belt to her because she knows how to wrestle, but she didn't, and she still does it.
Now, what's this whole taking a belt to her thing? Like, I thought this was a PG question.
I mean, but was it talking about even like Marie and other ones? I mean, CG's exactly in the same scenario. Obviously, a couple of years after Eva Marie, you know, came along with Rusev and did the Lana sort of thing. You know, same sort of scenario. She got a bit of love to begin with, and then again, as soon as she started wrestling, I mean, is it a wrestling? Is it a WWE? What was it, a fan thing? You know, where they don't want these sort of women to succeed. You know, Yeah, what was it? I mean, you just don't know, you know. What was it? It's difficult.
So I'm going to nominate the hot take of the day, and
I have one.
I'm giving it to this Aaron fellow. I like the cut of his.
I like the cut of his jib.
I have a hot take for you. You ready for this?
All right.
Right. JFB is DB Cooper.
He's not actually bald. He just shaves his head as a disguise.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. All right, guys, that's the end of the show. How do you support us? Multiple ways. Leave a comment in the comments below and maybe give us a buck or two. Sign up for one of the tiers. BigShinyMatrix@hotmail.com. Send us a big effing check. Like one of the big, huge, comical effing checks so we can just
send it to PayPal.
You can also go online. You can go to this website called ProWrestlingTees.com. You can go /effing wrestling, get all of our t-shirts. We have multitudes of t-shirts. If you like old school wrestling and you want to support that, hey, we also run Adrian Adonis's site on Pro Wrestling Tees, ProWrestlingTees.com /Adrian Adonis, where you can get all of your Adrian Adonis gear. On behalf of Canada Dry, Alex Handy, the effing expert, Mr. Isaacs, I am the JFB.
It's a new year. It's a new chance to start fresh. But sometimes it's hard to start fresh. It is. Sometimes things are happening all around you, and you can't overreact. You gotta roll with the punches. The Great Deception says the forces of depression always win. Hating yourself is easy. It's the living that is hard. It takes fortitude to move forward every single day. Strength just doesn't come from within. Relationships can be like lightning rods to your soul. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you a survivor. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Do not gloat over me, my enemy, for I will rise and I will just keep fighting.
Oh, yeah. Hit it.
This has been an effing worldwide media production. You can find us on all social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and others. Head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/effing wrestling. And while you're there, click like and subscribe. Want some swag? Head to our store at prowrestlingtees.com/effing wrestling. You can find all these links and much more at our awesome website, effingwrestling.com. As the JFB always says, you can book it.